Hello everyone, Scout Crafter here again with another restoration. Today it's from my buddy Brian. He got this axe at a garage sale, paid $1 for a nice German axe, and you could see it says, if you look here, it says made in Germany. Real nice axe. It's a forged axe with these little wooden handles, pieces that they rivet on, but the problem is the handles are loose, as you could see. Now, when you look at something like this, you have to look at how you're going to approach this restoration. We're going to drill out these rivets. The problem is that once you start drilling, they start to spin within the holes, so you have to do something to stop that. So we'll conquer that problem when we get to it. So we're going to remove the handle. We're going to take this down to metal. This was painted where Lee's name was. I guess Lee was the owner. And this used to be painted, so we'll probably paint that and inside, and we'll get these handles back to the way they should be. The problem is when they dry out, they tend to shrink a little bit, so we'll make sure we get them back moisturized nice with some oil, and we'll work on this head. So let's get started on another axe restoration. Okay, step one, using a center drill, we spot drill, and a drill press vise. We put a center hole into the rivet. This is a very sturdy drill bit to start that. Now we'll take a larger bit and try and get rid of this outer cone. Okay, now we installed the larger bit to get the cone out, and using a floating system where this system can move around to match the drill bit. Let's see what happens. We have some cutting oil in there, and we'll shake it until we just about, as you can see, the rivet now is starting to show. We could punch that out now with a center punch. Okay, we're over at the vise now. We secured the axe in the vise, and using a pin punch that fits in the hole, I'm going to use a brass hammer, and we're going to tap out the bottom part of that other two-piece rivet by just tapping down here. That'll tap out the bottom. Okay, the handles are off. We ran into our first challenge, and that is we were going to use these, I guess these like barrel rivets, and we're going to go through these holes, and then we were going to use something like this on the other side. I actually bought some stainless 1/4x20, almost like button head screw. The problem is that these holes are a little bit thin, and we don't have a lot of area around the holes to enlarge them to fit this barrel. So we got to see what we're going to do. We got to figure this out, and while we're at it, we're going to start cleaning up the axe. Okay, I drilled out the holes, so I got, using a 23/64 drill bit, I was able to put enough clearance in to get my barrel bolts in there, and everything looks good. But I'm looking at the head of the axe, and I took it on the wire brush, and I guess the rust left some scarring. So now I'm going to have to decide if I want to grind that down to get it nice. So it's shiny, but it's not chrome shiny. So we'll see what we're going to do with that. Well, I couldn't live with the pitting, so what I did was I took it over to the belt sander, and I took off all those little pitting. But of course the belt sander leaves these little scratches on there. But we're getting close to where we want to be. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take it over, and we're going to go down in grit. This was about 80 grit. We're going to go to 120, 220, 320, and 400, and we're going to work our way down till we get this nice and shiny. We've been working on this for about an hour now. It's now if you see the initial grinding, the initial to get out the pit marks from the rust, left these I guess you could say from here horizontal grooves in the axe. And now what we're doing is we're using this flapper sander, this rubber disc sander, to get those out. And to do that, you just take it like this, and we're trying to get going across the scratches the opposite way. This is 80 grit on there now, and you can see by going back and forth, we try and use the edge, and you can see you're getting some of the outside out, but we're getting there. We're getting some of the scratches out, and we're running on the polish. We are ready for paint and staining. What we're going to do now, we left there's a couple scratches on here still, but this is an axe to be used, so we polished a little bit of the head. We have the countersunk for the rivets, the Colby nuts or whatever. We are going to shellac these. Then we're going to paint the caps, the bottom and the top, red like it was, from the fact that we might put a little bit of green in here. It was black before, but we might do a little bit of green just so it it offsets it a little bit, and we'll put it together and see what we got. Okay, we're finished. We're very happy with the way this axe came out. Basically, we got the head pretty much polished down to where we want. A nice usable polish, nice, and it's a very hard metal. It's hard to get out any of the scratches, but we did a pretty decent job. It's somewhat of a semi-mirror finish. We did the inside with a hunter green. That paint, believe it or not, is a it's like an oxline paint that I had. It's about 25-30 years old. Really nice green. We did this, it's a Regal Red from Rust-Oleum, the caps. We used a blue painter tape to get that clean line, and that really makes a difference. Look at how clean that line is, and you can't get that with inexpensive masking tape or anything. We did the both sides. Those homemade Colby rivets we made worked out good, although we had to use stainless on one side. These are the Phillips on the one side, and the other side we have the hex that it came with. For the wood grain we got down and used a bullseye shellac, but we used a amber. First time I used amber. Really nice. This is just the color from the natural amber. Real nice product. Works great. Shellac is always great, but the amber is really nice. So that's it for the restoration for this axe. $1 axe and taken from start to finish. Okay, take care. Thanks for tuning in.